All right. Today we're going to talk about hats and which hat you should wear the next time you walk into a job interview. So check it out. I've helped thousands of job seekers and I noticed something really clear that when they walk into an interview, they put on the wrong hat. What do I mean by that? Well, let's try a few on. For example, put on your job seeker hat right now. How does it feel? Do you feel confident? Do you feel like you have all the information, like you're equipped to win or to succeed? Do you feel like you have a specific set of skills honed in for this moment? Probably not. That's how most job seekers feel. And they go through this whole rigmarole of figuring out, who am I? What do I want out of life? But the funny part is, we put on that hat because we think that's the right thing to do. We're in a job search. But the best candidates in the world typically make a career move when they're not looking for their next job. They also get great opportunities sent to them proactively when they're not looking for their next job. And that's because they're not wearing a job seeker hat. They're wearing an expert hat. They're an expert in something. Maybe it's project management. Maybe it's graphic design. Maybe it's machine learning. Maybe it's pharmaceutical sales. Maybe it's radiology technician. But the point is, you've got a hat and you earned that hat by working hard, by learning, by developing skills. So here's my advice for you. The next time you walk into an interview, make sure you've got the right hat on. Take your job seeker hat off and put on your professional hat. The one where you have experience, skills, where you've made mistakes, you've learned from them, you've also been successful, and you're proud of it. Wear that hat when you walk into the interview room. Let's play it out really quick. The reason why I'm telling you to put that hat on is because when you put on the hat, you know what to do. For example, if you're a project manager and you're on the job, you put the hat on. When you walk into the office, if I say, I need you to do a project for me, you know exactly where to start that conversation and where to take it. You're probably going to follow up with questions like, can you tell me more about the project? How big's the budget? What's the timeline? And you'll essentially figure out what are all the considerations. You'll help me solve that problem and we'll plan the project. Same thing. If you're a website designer and I came to you and said, I want to build a website. Likelihood is you're not going to just start designing randomly. You're going to ask me questions and help me solve the problem and then design the best solution. But then something happens. You're a job seeker, so you think you're supposed to put on a job seeker hat. Only nobody knows what that means. So it's easy to walk into an interview and all of a sudden forget where you're starting, where you're heading. You may not know how to get there. You may not know how to help facilitate the conversation or drive it forward. And in the end, you end up in a conversation feeling like, hey, I did a pretty good job. I answered a few good questions. But the interviewer walks away feeling like, I had to work so hard. I had to plan that project all by myself. Or I had to build the website, but I thought I was hiring a graphic designer to do that for me. So next time you walk into an interview, don't put on your job seeker hat. In fact, take that off and put on your expert hat. Whatever skills you have, bring them to the interview. Use those skills in the interview. Understand the problem, define or scope the solution, and use your skills to implement it. If you can do that in the conversation and it goes well, then you can do that in the job. If you can do it in the interview, if you can do it in the job, it's a really good match long term. This may sound oversimplified, but you'd be surprised how well it works. Just give it a shot. Put on the right hat for your next interview and let me know how it goes.